It's Jackpot season. Welcome to a new dispensation. That's all you're going to hear on Twitter nowadays. Like every time you log in, there's someone traveling or who have just traveled. If you're watching this video right now, chances are you yourself, you jackpot, or you have a friend or colleague or family member who has either just left or who is trying to migrate or who is trying to, process their migration. But migration is the order of the day. Young people are traveling and migrating in their numbers. I myself, in case you didn't know, I've moved from Lagos to Accra, so I'm also a migrant of sorts, even though I've just moved, between Lagos and Accra. But most people are moving to the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, all kinds of places. So migration is the order of the day. And when I catch up with my friends who have gone, there are some aspects of this migration thing that most people don't consider or they kind of underestimate. These are things that are mostly social, but they're like a huge deal when you eventually go. It's one thing to migrate. After all the visa wahala, you applying all the long applications, proof of funds, admission wahala, visa wahala. After all of that, I've taken that flight. What next do you do once you land there? How do you go about making friends? How do you go about integrating into that society? Because let me tell you, it's a huge adjustment. When you migrate, you leave everything that you know. You leave your former life, your comfort zone, your family, your friends, your entire community. You leave everything you know into a whole new world. It's a huge adjustment. And I just figured that there's some tips or hacks that I use or that I've used that has kind of worked for me, and it's kind of helping me integrate into the society. If you've gone to the US or the UK or Canada, these tips might also help you. So that's what this video is about. Let's get into it. So first things first, if you migrate to another country, the very moment you land, you should bear it in mind that you are no longer at home. You are now in a whole new place. It's a whole new world. Everything you know or used to believe or used to do or how you used to live your life back where you're coming from will most likely change. It's a whole new place entirely. So my first suggestion or hack or tip to you would be to erase everything you think you know. Start afresh, open your mind, approach the entire experience from a whole new perspective. Open your mind. There's no point holding on to the things that you know, how you used to do things back where you're coming from. You're going to find it harder to integrate into the new society. Alright, you've done all of this stress and you've migrated. Open your mind and start afresh. Open your heart and start from a whole new place. The very moment you land and you find yourself settled into your home or hotel or whatever it is that you have arranged as accommodation, the very first thing I suggest you do is to get social. Like the very next day after I got to Accra, I just went and got myself a SIM card, got a local number, and began to get social. In fact, before I came here, and yeah, if you're going to travel, I suggest you do this. Go on social media, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever you prefer, even Tinder, you guys. I know. I was following I started to follow a few people on Twitter and Instagram, people who live here, people who I like their work, and started engaging. So yeah, get social, engage their posts, comment. There's some podcasts that I was listening to even while I was in Lagos. Sincerely Accra, and even on Twitter, I was following a couple of Twitter handles that discuss things regarding Accra. So events, people of interest, social people. Basically get social. Social media these days have made it very, very easy because it's always a little harder to go up in person and make friends. But social media, I feel, is something that can help you a whole lot before you travel, and definitely as soon as you land into your new country or new city. Get social, talk to people. For someone like me, I have no problems DMing anybody I follow and say, hi, I'm XYZ person. I like your work, I like your tweets, I'm new in town, XYZ. I've been doing this and I've made a few acquaintances through this means. But even if you can't directly DM or you feel a little shy, following them and dropping a few likes and comments here and there is kind of easy to do nowadays. If you're looking for a job, for example, in your new city or new country, LinkedIn is there. I know people kind of roll their eyes and complain about how LinkedIn is tedious, but I feel like what other choice do you have as a new immigrant or migrant? I don't know which is the correct form, migrant or immigrant. What's the difference? I don't even know. Anyway, if you are moving to a new place, making use of social media and getting social very quickly, even before you go, will help you integrate quicker and easier than if you don't use social media at all. Get your local number, because as you're meeting people and talking to them and exchanging numbers, it will be weird if you didn't have a local number yet. So as soon as you land, as soon as you get settled in, the first thing to do is to get social, get your number, and begin to connect with people online. My next tip would be to learn the language, even if they're speaking the language that you used to speak back at home. Let's say, for example, English. Even if you go to another English speaking country or city, most likely they're going to use the language in a different way. In my last video, in case you haven't watched it, I'm going to link it up here. I did mention that the pidgin English that I hear here in Accra is different from what we speak back in Nigeria. So I've kind of had to learn or begin to learn how the pidgin is spoken here, trying to learn how to even speak the pidgin here. Let's say you're from a Spanish speaking country and you move to another Spanish speaking country. Most likely how they're using the Spanish language in that country might be different. Inflections, mood, tenses, all of these things might be different from where you're coming from. So I feel like if you want to get integrated very quickly after you've migrated, try and learn the language, try and learn how they use the language, how they speak, what they do. If, for example, someone wants to travel to Korea or Japan, for example, or anywhere far east, there are other, non-verbal communication practices that you might need to learn, like the bowing, how they shake hands or don't shake hands, things like that. I feel will help you integrate quicker and not stick out like a sore thumb. Here in Accra, when I move around or speak to people that are Ghanaian, it's not like I pick up or I kind of fake the Ghanaian accent, but I feel like the less Nigerian I sound, the easier it is for me to blend in. Now, those people that travel to the UK for 2 weeks and then come back with an accent, they're not the ones I'm talking about, which, I mean, we laugh about it, but I kind of see the merit in it, especially if you're going to live in that place long term. So learn to speak the language, learn to understand the language, learn how they talk, how they behave around communication. I feel it will help you integrate much, much quicker. Another aspect to get you integrated very quickly in a new place is the food. I'm of the opinion that food is a kind of a strong part of any culture. If you want to know about a people or get integrated into society, try and learn about the food. I mean, you don't have to cook it, but if you go to a restaurant, try and taste different kind of foods, in your new country, your new city. It will help you, first of all, find something to eat. There's no point going all the way to Germany and be looking for a egusi soup and jollof rice there. People do it, but to me, I feel like, what's the point? So get into the food, understand how they cook, what they eat, what they don't eat over there, and try and get yourself integrated. Taste the food. You might even come to like it. Who knows? So yeah, the food is another part that you can get integrated with very, very quickly. The next tip that will help you get integrated very quickly once you migrate is to study the geography of the place where you are. Now, this is not a cool thing to do, but me, I often try to download and study the map of any place that I go to. I just like to study, maps. This will kind of help you get like a theoretical pictorial view of where you are or where you're going to. You get to learn landmarks, get to learn important places, the roads, the names of places. You don't have to know all these places because it takes a while, right? If you just move to a new place or a new city or a new country, it'll take you a good while to know everywhere. But I feel like a map is an easy shortcut for you to know places, at least know their names. Like here in Accra, the map kind of shows me, which was Spintex, it's like gone. I know where all those places are as far as the map goes, even though I don't know them physically. And I ask questions. I ask my friends, oh, where's this place? Where's this place? Is it this way or is it that way? Even if I don't go to those places. So yeah, study the map, get a geographical idea, like get an idea of the geography of the place where you are. If there are things like weather considerations, studying about that place geographically will teach you all those things even before you experience it. After understanding the geography, the next tip I advise is to use public transport. When I first came to Accra, like I tried to go around with an Uber, my friend would drive me in a car, and while that's convenient, it's always quicker to use public transport in case, like, if you want to know about the geography of where you're going to, like if you want to know all the roads, know where what is what, observe the people, like observe the masses of where you are. Public transportation is always a better, faster idea. Like say Lagos, for example, if you want to learn the roads and know Lagos very well, it's always easier and better and quicker to take Danfos and BRTs. Ubers and co, they're convenient, yes, but I feel like it's just a little slower. If you travel to, let me say, places in Europe or the US where they have train systems, taking those trains will kind of help you understand the schedules, timing, when the train stops and where they stop. If it's buses, like here, I have to take trotro at some points. I have to just give up the Uber and boat life and just take trotro, like at least not everywhere, but around where I stay, and try and take trotro to kind of know the bus stops, know places. And I found it very interesting because trotro here, by the way, you guys, trotro is like the mini buses that people move around with, like inner city transport. It's very similar to Danfo that we have in Lagos. So I found that it was similar, but at the same time much better in the sense that it's way less chaotic. All the routes and the corresponding fare are kind of pre-printed, so everyone knows how much each place kind of cost, and there's just less chaos. But it's very similar to what we have back in Lagos. So I found that very interesting. So I advise that if you go to a new place and you just migrate to a new place, check the public transport system. It will help you know all the road and all the routes a little quicker than if you were to take an Uber or private vehicle. My next tip to get integrated once you've migrated is to find a community. So once you migrate, it's hard to get integrated if you're going at it alone because you don't know anywhere, you don't know anyone. I suggest you find yourself a community, either through religious groups. If you're Christian, Muslim, whatever religion you are, if you're religious at all, finding a Christian or a religious group or a Muslim group will help you find your way. You can meet people there, you can make friends, you can make connections for work or whatever you might need, while trying to integrate and settle it into a new place. Going at it alone is way, 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 way harder. If you have friends or colleagues in that city or in that country, you can reach out to them prior to the time you get there. At the very least, find yourself into a group through religion, like I said. If you have interests like, say, fitness, if you are someone who is into fitness, find a gym close to where you can reach and get registered at that gym. Chances are it will be easier for you to bond with other people in the gym since you all share a common interest with fitness. For someone like me, I'm in the creative field myself, so before I even came to Accra, on social media I would follow creative people, photographers, filmmakers, editors who live here, and I even DM quite a few to say, oh hi, I'm XYZ person and I do XYZ thing. And since I've been here, I've also been doing that. When I go out, I introduce myself and say, okay, I'm in this field. And more often than not, if I meet someone who is in the same field as me, we can bond easily through that, as opposed to like a random stranger who doesn't share any common interest with me. So yeah, find groups of people who share either religion or race or nationality or whatever group you can find. It's always easier to integrate through a group than going at it alone. My next tip will be to ask questions. Migration, like I said, is not easy. You don't know a lot about the place you're going to or your new country or new city. So don't be afraid to ask questions. I ask a lot of questions. I ask my friends, anybody I meet, strangers. If you give me an opportunity or I see or hear something that I don't know or I don't understand, I ask questions. Whatever it is you know or believe from where you're coming from might be different from what you meet where you're going to. So as soon as you step your foot into another country, be ready to ask questions that are fresh. Ask about places, ask about things, ask the meaning of words, ask so many things, even about the laws. Some things might be legal or permissible where you're coming from and not be permissible in your new place. So absolutely ask questions so that you know what to do, what not to do. If there are places you should go or not go, best practices when you're trying to apply for jobs, or whatever it is really. If you're in school, for example, ask and ask and ask questions. This might be hard if you're someone who is a little introverted, but I feel like when you're migrating, you can't lock yourself in and not ask questions. Absolutely ask questions. Ask about everything. Like ask about the laws, policies. You don't want to get caught up on the wrong side when you newly migrate to a new place. So ask all you can ask. Keep an open mind, be teachable, and learn everything that you can learn once you migrate to a new place. My next tip would be for you to stay focused on your focus. What this means is that whatever your reasons for migrating is, be it to study, to earn greener pastures, to whatever it is your reason is, to hustle, you name it, I suggest when you first migrate, it's very easy to get carried away by whatever it is you're seeing in your new place. People that travel sometimes are, they get overexcited and begin to post stuff and share stuff and party and all of these things. While it's great to have fun in your new city or your new country, I suggest you focus on the core reason why you're there. If you've gone to study, the first few months or the first few years that you're in your new country, focus exclusively and do your studying correctly. This is not the time for you to play and have fun and forget yourself. If you've gone there to to hustle or to work or to pursue like other opportunities, I suggest you focus exclusively on those. As you're moving around and meeting people, talk to them about opportunities, look for opportunities that might interest you, look for work, look for basically be focused on why you've gone there. That's the main thing. Don't get carried away by what you're seeing, all the fun, all the shiny stuff, the men and the women, the cars, the infrastructure. All those things are nice. Unless you're going on holiday, then yes, go and play. But if you've migrated for serious reasons, I suggest you focus on those reasons exclusively. Keep them in the front of your mind. Whatever you experience in those places. For example, as a black person, migration comes with a lot of headache, things like racism, things like people having their biases, whatever experiences you might have might be positive or negative. Here, even here in Accra, like even in black nations, you also face some sort of experiences that might not be 100% pleasant all the time. But I suggest, and this is what I've also, borne in mind while I've done this move, is to keep the reason why you've done the migration, keep it to yourself. Keep it in front of your mind and focus on it day and night. Let it be the only thing you think about as you move around. Don't start playing around and don't start jumping all over the place. You're most likely going to get in trouble and not even achieve the reason that you're there for. So if you've gone to school, face your school. If you've gone to hustle, face your hustle. Basically focus on the reason why you've migrated. The next and possibly the most important tip would be to have a lot of patience. You have to be patient. It's going to take time for you to get integrated. It's going to take time for you to find your footing because you've gone to a new place, right? You're trying to make friends, the person you're talking to or meeting probably have their own friends and they have their own jobs and they have their own lives and they've built a life for themselves. You are a stranger, you're just coming in. It's take a while for them to get to know you, to understand you, to trust you. It'll take a while. If you're looking for a job, it might take a while. If you're looking to even date and have fun, it'll take a while. So basically be patient. Just know that you're not in your home and you've gone to another person's home or another person's land. So you have to be patient with them, with yourself, with the system, because there are going to be times that you don't understand how things are done in a new place. Don't get frustrated, don't get distracted. Just be very, very patient and know what you're there for. And sometimes when you have like negative experiences, I suggest that you ignore them because what can you do? You've done the migration, you're already there, you're already there. Don't let anybody make you feel like you've done something wrong. Because let me tell you, migration is a part of human existence for as long as humans have been. Like people will always migrate. If you're watching this video right now, there's a chance that your forefather or someone in your lineage migrated to or from some place. So migration is not going to go away. People will always move as long as you travel legally. If you've traveled or if you're traveling illegally or migrating illegally, this video is not for you. My hands are not I'm not involved. I'm talking about people that have traveled properly and legally. Once you've traveled in a proper manner and you're being responsible in your stay, like you're not causing a nuisance, you're not abusing or exploiting the people and the land that you've migrated to, keep your head up, be patient. Don't let anybody make you feel like you're less than. You have a right to be in that place. Once you've been issued a visa or a stay, don't let anybody make you feel less than. Just be patient, do what you need to do, focus on why you're there, and I feel like with time you find your footing. Those are my few practical tips that have helped me, and I hope that helps someone who is migrating or have migrated or is about to migrate or thinking of migrating. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. If you have other tips that have helped you or that you think can help anybody who is in the same space or this era of jackpot, leave them in the comment section. I'll be responding there. By the way, you guys, thank you so much to everybody who watched, commented, shared my other videos. None of you who subscribed are just subscribing like you're just new into the family. Thank you so much. Welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Sky, in case I didn't mention before, and I make style, beauty, lifestyle, creativity videos, bits and bobs here and there, basically from a minimalist point of view. So that's what I do here on the channel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave me comments, watch my other videos, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. And I'm gonna see you in my next video. Bye.